In this video, we will discuss Marx's concept of consumption. Marx outlines three primary forms of consumption in his work Capital: productive, individual, and unproductive. He contends that both production and consumption are essential for societies to sustain themselves. Productive consumption involves items that replenish the means of production, such as tools and raw materials, ensuring the continuity of wealth and societal renewal. For the working class, this involves utilizing means of production to create commodities of higher value than the initial capital invested, with capitalists also consuming the labor power of workers in this process. In contrast, individual consumption encompasses how workers use their earnings from selling their labor power to acquire necessities for survival, granting them a degree of autonomy from capitalists. However, even in this personal consumption, workers are essentially preparing themselves to re enter the production cycle where they can be further exploited. Hence, individual consumption ultimately feeds back into productive consumption. While workers may engage in personal consumption to pursue their own interests, this occurs within the framework of capital's reproduction. Marx contends that capitalists and their ideological supporters focus solely on the productive aspect of workers' consumption. They consider the upkeep of workers essential for capital's reproduction, but are indifferent to how this is achieved, assuming workers will do so out of the imperative for self-preservation. The only concern for capitalists lies in having access to labor power for consumption and exploitation. Any consumption by workers beyond what is strictly necessary for their own pleasure is viewed by capitalists as unproductive. Marx argues that even the individual consumption of workers is ultimately unproductive from their perspective. It results in the creation of dependent individuals who, through their consumption, contribute productively both to capitalists and the state. Workers, through their consumption, become a force generating wealth for others, further entrenching them in the reproduction of capitalism.